everyone. I hope you're doing well today. My name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in a rural town called Keensburg, Colorado, and we are about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. And today I'm making a card featuring, I think, some of the prettiest paper Stampin' Up! Has ever put out. It is an online exclusive pack of paper, which will be available today, November 7th. I would highly suggest, if anybody is interested in purchasing it, that you get on my online store at sherrymannie.stampinup.net and order it right away, because I'm positive it's going to go out of stock very quickly. So here's my card, and I actually did a couple of different samples with different greetings. This one I did hello, and then I just put a strip down the envelope, and here's one piece of this beautiful paper. And I did this way so that when you open it up, you can see both sides, or almost a complete sheet of paper. And here's this pretty one. And actually this one I think this is a little bit different. It has more yellow flowers here at the bottom. And then here's another one with this beautiful path and the purpley shaded mountains. So, and I did this one as a thinking of you, and these are all hello. So for today's card, here is the paper that we're using, and it's called Meandering Meadows, and this is just a few of the samples. I didn't bring the whole packet over here, but as you can see, they are just gorgeous, gorgeous papers. We've used them once before in class, and then we are now doing this card, and I just love the paper. I'm probably going to order, I already ordered 2 packs. I may even order another, and I like it so well. So that is the paper we're using. We are not really using a bundle today. We're using some die cuts, some dies, and different stamping sets. So I am using layering leaves, and I did the thinking of you or the hello. On this particular card, I did not put an inside greeting because I'm not sure what occasion I'm going to be using this for, and so therefore I didn't put on any kind of a greeting. I'm still having issues with my camera. It freezes up on my laptop when I'm watching what I'm showing, to where I make sure I'm in camera range and everything, but I'm not sure what it does on the other end until I get done. I think there's a trip to the Verizon store in my very near future. And then the other thing we're using are the Nested Essential dies. I'm using this one right here. As you can see on here, they have all kinds of different shapes. They're very unique, very versatile set that you can use for a lot of things. And you can find this in the new annual catalog. Ink colors, we're going to be using our Daffodil Delight just to, on this one I did, just to kind of highlight the edges of our greeting piece. And then we'll be using the basic gray to stamp our greeting with. We'll be using a little sponge dauber to go around the edges of our greeting in the yellow. And I'll just get this out of the package. I keep these in here because when I leave them, since they've got ink on the ends of them, they will contaminate my paper that's in wherever I have it stored. And then for the embellishments, I almost said dimensionals, and I knew that was not right. So we're using the adhesive backed solid gems. Again, this is in the big annual catalog, and we'll be using this pretty lemon lolly one. So in our packet, you have a card base, and the cutting on the card base is a little bit different than what we're used to. You will have your normal 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, but this piece here is only going to be at 7.5. So you're going to cut it at 7.5, and then cut it at 5.5 in the middle, and then we'll still score it at the 4 1/4 mark. And that way you can put a strip of paper here, and your front piece will be right there. Okay. Now for your paper, for your designer series paper, well, first of all, let me do the layers. So you'll have 2 layers. This happens to be in Lemon Lolly, and the first one is 3 1/8 by 5 3/8, and that's going to go on the front of our card like so. And then you have a piece of designer series paper And this one is going to measure 3 by 5 1/4, and that'll go right on here. You'll have another piece of lemon lolly. This one measures 1 5/8 by 5 3/8, and the piece of designer series paper from this, which is measuring 1.5 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go on there. So the way you cut your paper is you just take your paper, and I do have a trimmer here. I was just going to show you, and we're going to cut this off to the let's see, what am I trying to say here? We're trying to cut it off to the 5 1/4 inch mark, and you can either cut it at the top or cut it at the bottom, whichever you want. I'm just gonna, I think, let me see what it looks like. Determines how much you want to cut off here. I think we'll just do it this way. Okay, so then you have your piece that is 5 1/4. Your length measurement is where you want it. Now you're going to put it, turn it over, turn it up, and put it back in, and you're going to cut it at 3. So move it over. You'll cut it at 3, and that'll give you your piece for the front. And then what is left, you're going to take and cut a piece that is 1.5 inches. So I'll move over here to the 1.5 inches. Get it in there straight, and you will cut it down like that. You will have this piece left over, which I trimmed off to put on the front of my envelope. Okay, so these are the 2 pieces that you actually use for your card, and that's how you cut it. And you don't only have hardly any waste at all. You can use this whole thing on the front of your envelope, and then you have used up all of your paper except for the little bit that we trimmed off the bottom. Okay, and so I think, let's see, did I show you everything that we need, that we will have? I showed you this. Then here's the little strip that I'm going to put on the front of my envelope. Here's a couple of pieces of scrap paper that we're going to use to do our, actually just to do our greeting. We only need 1 piece. I don't know. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is the piece that goes on the inside. If you'll see, I have a piece of Whisper White right here. Wow, basic white. Whisper White's been many years ago. And this one is going to measure just a little under 2.5 inches by 5 3/8, and that'll fit right along the inside of your paper in the front, okay, and the inside. So let's get started with, we'll put everything together, and we're going to, I think I will get my little silicone mat out so that we don't get glue all over everywhere. And I'm going to use my liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive you prefer. You all know that if I have an opportunity, I use the liquid glue. On designer series paper, you want to use your liquid glue not very much, because it sometimes can make your paper warp a little bit. And I'm going to put this on, and we have a very narrow border on this. So I try to get it as straight as I can with the liquid glue. If I don't have it totally straight, then I can move it a little bit. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it on our small strip of lemon lolly. So and again, you just line it up with trying to get your borders fairly even. Okay. And then this piece is going to go right here on the front. So once again, we'll just use our glue. Try to keep an eye on my camera to see if it's locking up, but I get busy and I forget to watch. Okay. And there we go. All right. And then we will turn this over, and this piece is going to go right along here. And I kind of do it at an angle, that way I can see. I better get my margins even, a little easier that way. Okay, and then when you close that, see, your pattern just continues on and matches up. Isn't it pretty? Love this paper. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we'll put our little piece on the front of our envelope and get that out of the way. And then I think pretty much all our gluing is done, and we'll do our stamping. And I'm sorry, I was out of camera there. You're just going to put a little bit on there. And then what I did is I just stuck it down on this side. Again, being very careful that I have it glued down in all areas. That way I don't have to worry about the post office getting on my case. And then I'm just going to trim this off. Okay. And there's our envelope. That's done. Our card base is done. And, oh, not quite. So I'm going to take this piece of white and I'm going to put it on the inside here. And like I say, I'm leaving it blank because the greeting on the front is pretty generic and I can use it for whatever occasion I might have a need for. And right now I don't know what that would be because I've kind of gotten stocked up on birthday cards. So I think I'll be going a different direction with this one. There. Now we're all done. Okay, so then we're going to take this little piece of basic white that we have. We will take our basic gray. We will take our hello stamp or the thinking of you or whatever stamp that you have that you want to use. And if you have a punch or whatever, that you can get it cut out. There we go. And then we would take this die, put it on here, and of course run it through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you end up with this piece right here. So the only thing I did, I wanted to make this stand out a little bit, and not be quite so stark white, wherever you decide to put it. And again, whenever you want to put this down, you can put it wherever you want. I tried to choose the place where I wouldn't interfere with the paper too much. But you just take your little sponge dauber or whatever you have. You can use a blending brush. I've just gotten used to using sponge daubers over the year, and that's kind of what over the years, and this is what I feel most comfortable with, and I like the edge that it gives me. So we're just going to go along these edges and make a nice little yellow, very thin outline on this piece. And you can do it as much or as little as you want. That's the joy of making your own cards. You can make them however you want. And then we are going to, excuse me, I knew that sneeze was coming. I'm sorry. We're going to put some dimensionals on here. And I just put one in each corner. Like so. Take my pokey tool. And decide where I'm going to put this. And I think on this one I am going to put it up here and cover some of the sky. Okay. Then the only other thing we have left to do is to put our bling on. And there's all kinds of bling that you can use, whatever you happen to have in your stash. And I'm going to take this, put one in the corner. These come in 3 different sizes, so I'll take a medium and put it down here, and then I'll take a small one and put it right next to it. But you could put your dimension, your bling, your embellishments, wherever you would like to put them. Okay, and guess what? That's it. It's not too bad of a card, huh? So here's our envelopes. As you can see, I put it on here. Here's the one we just did. Here's the card we just made. And then here are the other samples that I had just to show off some of the papers. Okay. So I hope you enjoy this card. It is quick and simple. The paper does most of the work for you, and it was lots of fun to make. So thank you so much for taking some of your precious time to watch this with me. May God bless each and every one of you, and I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.